Hi everyone, this is Dee with the Paper Drawer. I wanted to share with you a process for altering a book, doing a hidden spine or hollow spine, and then of course just sewing right through the spine. So I have several examples. I'm going to do these probably in two parts. This will be part one. I'm going to go through some of the journals that I have. A couple of them I'm working on, and I'll show that process probably in part two, but I want to show you what I've done with them, which is just gutting them, etc. The other ones are journals that I've purchased. There are two in here that I have made, and I just never completed them by filling them, etc. The ones that I made are from a course that I took from Nick the Booksmith. It was a great course, and there is a lady that did an awesome job. I believe she took the course too, and there's a couple of her books in here that I want to just share because she's done a fantastic job. So let me get to it, and I'll just go through a couple things. I'll go through some supplies, things that you may need if you'd like to try this. But let me show you a couple that I have actually purchased. This one is very similar to the ones that I have made from the course from Nick the Booksmith. And this I purchased quite a while ago, but it's made beautifully. She's done a great job, and it's filled with a lot of nice pages and things. And on this one, it's a hollow spine, and what she did was oops, I'm sorry, I'm not in frame. She rounded the spine, and that's kind of the look that we went for in the class. So there's different ways you can achieve that, or it could be a flat spine, but you can see that it's slightly rounded. And the process of how this was done was, it was just a bigger gap between the spine and the front cover. But this isn't really an altered book, but it's a very similar process to make your altered book. So I wanted to just show you this as an example of her reinforcing the spine. To make a hidden spine, I call them wings. You actually sew the signatures into the fabric. The fabric could be just fabric, or you could put a light cardboard cardstock behind it to sew into. It'll stiffen it up a little bit, but you could see where the fabric ends. And then she just took paper and she covered it. Okay, so this is just one of the processes. And so the journal does an alligator, you know, where you can't, it's not closed. The gap between signatures, you're going to see the spine. Okay, that's why it's nice to have some nice fabric or something between it. Okay, so that is just one example. Again, you can call this an altered book in a way. It's just made from scratch. Okay, so that's one of them. This journal is from the same lady. I love her work. Again, it's very neat. I love this size. But this is another one. And she rounded the spine again. And of course, it is a hidden spine. So she did the same thing. She took fabric to a certain point and she sewed the signatures into the fabric. She might have added a piece of cardboard or not, because when I show you the gutted book, you can reinforce the spine with cardboard. Cardstock, I would prefer probably something a little bit heftier than that, just to give it a hard feel on the outside. But again, this is another one done by the same lady. She did a great job. And let's see, so here. And again, this is why you have nice fabric, because in between signatures, it's going to show. You're not going to get really, really close on the signatures unless you do a Coptic binding, but when you do a Coptic binding, then it's a little bit more difficult to fill with ephemera and so forth. So this has, you're going to find gaps, and everybody's got them. So it's something, if you want to fill it with ephemera, it's unavoidable. Okay, so that's this one. That's a great little journal. Okay. Here's another one. This was done by my girlfriend, and I purchased it from her. And I love that cover. So this is an altered book. So basically what she did is she gutted it. She took all the pages out and she reinforced the spine, because usually it's going to be pretty wobbly once you take the signatures of the original book out. So what she did was she took a piece of cardboard and she actually covered it. Okay, so she wrapped fabric around a piece of cardboard that fits right into the spine. Okay, that's a great way to do it. Another way to do it, she did a nice job. A lot of people, they can extend the spine fabric that covers the spine, okay? Like I was showing you in these other ones, they can come out, but you're gonna have a little bit of a lump. And I think the reason why this one was done this way was it cleans it off. It's a smooth cover, okay? So that's why she wrapped the cardboard for the spine. You're gonna have that little tiny gap again. Some people, you could bring it a little closer, maybe squeeze in, maybe not another signature, but if your signatures were thinner, but gotta be careful, because once you start doing that, your book can alligator and it won't close, okay? This one's pretty well made. So that's how this one was done. Again, she didn't put wings on it for the spine and sew the signatures in. She took a piece of cardboard, wrapped it, and then she marked her her spine on where she's going to sew her signature into. And it's just, again, a separate piece of cardboard. And she used a pamphlet stitch. Okay. And let's see, and here's her gap too. So again, you want to make sure if you use fabric or paper, probably fabric I think would be a little bit stronger. You want to make sure it's something that you want to see. Okay, and then she carried it out throughout the whole cover. Some people do different fabrics, contrasting fabrics, solids, but this is all together. And you can see it down here. And she actually just frayed it and overlapped it. It's kind of like a little headband, but it's all in one, okay? So that's something else that you want to think about, and I'll show you on the books that I've gutted, but she basically just fringed it just a little, overlapping it, and I like that touch. It's just right, okay? So here's the back side, and you can see the cardboard right here, okay? Again, this gives her a smooth finish here. So the cardboard fits right within the spine. Okay. Here's another one. This one, she actually just sewed right into the spine. I like them both ways, actually. And this is one signature. It's a pretty small book. And she really didn't do too much. She gutted it pretty well, okay? It looks like she did reinforce it. There's a short piece of cardboard in the spine, and you really should, because you're gonna need something to sew into, so this spine's pretty solid, okay? So that's how this one was done. And she used regular fly page and everything for it. So she saved this page, which is really cool. And then, again, just one signature. So it all depends on how you want to do this and what you want to save in the book. And the fly pages are really nice to save if you can do it. You just got to be careful. Okay, so that's this one. These little books are really cute. And one signature, it's perfect. So that's this one. Let me show you the books that I've done from Nick the Booksmith. Again, you can gut it. A book and still it can turn out like this, but I just want to show you. What I did with this one again was the fabric only comes to a certain point, okay? I wanted to use cardstock or double-sided. They're a little bit thicker scrapbook paper, and I believe this is Tim Holtz. So I just took it right to the edge because I didn't want too much of the fabric to show. And it does close. So all this one needs to be done. And there's the center. It needs to just be filled, but I've had this for quite a while. I can't even remember when I took the class, what year it was, but it was a lot of fun. And this is the back side. Okay. I use thicker scrapbook paper too because then you don't feel the transition too much of the fabric. The fabric comes up to here. I can feel it. Okay. I could have taken that fabric all the way and then not covered it. But I like the scrapbook paper. Okay, so that's this. And for a little headband, all we used was a little bit of cheesecloth. So when you look down it, you don't see the cardboard or anything, or the start and finish of the fabric, okay? Here's another one that I've done, and this one I have not filled, so this one's a good example. These are the signatures that I have for it, okay? And this is what the book looks like. So basically, if you have a book and the spine is not salvageable at all, you can cut it out and you can make your own spine, okay? So this is what this looks like. In order to get it rounded, we just did little tiny score marks on it and it just kind of rolled, okay? But that's what this looks like before it's all finished up, and you can see where it's overlapped. Just wrap it right around, paint it down a little bit black because when you look down on it, you won't see the cardboard color. And then I can put a little headband, cheesecloth or a real headband. They do sell them. So you can do it either way. And I have a front and back here. So anyway, so that's that. I want to show you two other things. And basically, like I said, supplies. So I don't want to keep this video too long. So here's a little book that I gutted. Okay. And that's what it looks like. And if you do have an old book like this, I can't remember the year, but what you can do is you can get, matte medium or white glue that dries clear, and you can lightly go over it to save some of the areas that are torn. And it will hold. I have a friend that had done that, and it wasn't going anywhere. It was secure. So this is what the gutted book looks like. I did save the fly page, tried to save the first page. Oh, the year should be in here. 1906. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I can keep those. So when you gut a book and want to alter it, think about the pages front and back. But this one turned out really well. It's pretty clean. Okay. So that's what that looks like. I love this size. Here's the last book. I bought a whole series of these, Journey Through Bookland. I love the spine on these. So definitely will not sew through it. It will be a hidden spine. But this is what I had the pages, the signatures and pages already made up. So it cut the book block cut out pretty clean. but that's what that looks like. And I always try and save the top part, okay? And if not, you can always put something else on it. This one, as you can see, I probably will put a little bit of glue here to save that. It's not bad. I think I might have saved the fly page because, yep, let me show you. I love that. Okay, this can be repaired also. It's just how the book block came out, but it can be saved, so I like that. So it's very workable, okay. So here are a couple of supplies and things that I use to do these books with. In the spine, I like to use chipboard. You can use a cereal box, you can use the back of a tablet, the cardboard on the back side, but the chipboard's fine. If you want something a little more pliable, you might want to use a cereal box, but this is chipboard, okay? So I cut my spines out of that. The other thing you can do also is you can use Tyvek to really secure that spine. Sometimes if the spine's in bad shape, I might use Tyvek and then I might put the cardboard over it. So Tyvek, if you go to the post office or if you have a FedEx store close to you, you might want to pick up a few of these envelopes. These envelopes, if you look at it, they have some thread running through it. This is Tyvek, okay? It's just a cheap, free thing that you can get. I don't mind it, but I don't use it anymore. I used to use it when I first started. But if you look at it and you want to see the Tyvek on it, if you look really close, you'll see the threads. Okay, that's Tyvek. Okay, so you can use a FedEx or a post office mailer. Okay, this is Tyvek from Amazon that I bought. Okay, so you can get this. It's super strong. It's not going to tear. You'll have to get scissors to cut it, but it's super strong. So this is Tyvek, and I got it off Amazon. They do have different types and feel and different weights. This is a lightweight. Don't need anything stronger than that because you're just trying to secure that spine so it, if it's fragile or something, it doesn't fall apart. You could probably also paint this if need be. Okay, if you've got some areas in your spine that are thin, you could probably go ahead and use acrylic paint on this. The other thing I want to show you today is fabrics. For the class at Nick the Booksmith, we took a piece of muslin. So if your spine's not good and you need to get rid of it on an altered book and you want to do this, just take a piece of muslin and use a black acrylic paint. That's all this is. Okay, and you can put it on, change the spine out if you have to. A lot of times the spines on the book are the best part, but if you have to, this is an option for you. Just paint muslin. And I'm sorry it's storming, you might be able to hear that. And here's just some fabric that I've used. A rusted fabric. I think I got this one off Etsy. But these are great insides. And for these three, I would probably take it straight across. I wouldn't cover it with scrapbook paper or anything. What I might do to reinforce the covers if I take it straight across is I might, if it's not strong enough, I might put scrapbook paper here and then lay the fabric right over it just to give it some strength. Okay, so that would be This book, the covers are pretty strong, but if you want to, you can put something underneath it. I don't know, most of them you may not have to, but you would just take this straight across. Okay, and sew the signatures into here, make this spine, cardboard underneath it. I'll go through that in another video, but I wanted to show you just some of the supplies and just basics on what you can do with it to alter a book and try and save as much as the book as possible. If it's in really bad shape, you may not be able to. You may have to do a lot of altering, but these are really old books, but she did a great job. You can see the wear on it too. Let's see. Yeah, it's just, you know, again, you can put white glue on it and reinforce that so that does not tear. But it's still good. It's still a secure book. There's nothing wrong with it. So let me end the video here. Then in the next video, part 2, I'm going to do some cutting, and I'll just show you some basics on putting it together, okay? I hope this helped, and I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.